For years, Jennifer Aniston was told she had everything: the fame, the beauty, the money, the career millions of people could only dream about. She became one of the most recognizable women in the world, and for millions of viewers, her face was associated with laughter, friendship, and happiness. But there was one question the world could never stop asking: why wasn't she happy enough? Every time Jennifer Aniston fell in love, the world watched. Every time she got married, the world celebrated. Every time a relationship ended, the world dissected it. And when she didn't have children, the world decided something must be missing. For years, strangers who had never met her tried to explain her own life to her. They told her what happiness should look like. They told her what a successful woman should have. And perhaps the most heartbreaking part wasn't the questions. It was the fact that Jennifer Aniston had to keep smiling while everyone else tried to write the story of her life. But the woman behind that smile had already learned, long before Hollywood knew her name, that happiness isn't always as simple as it looks. Jennifer Aniston didn't grow up inside a perfect family. She grew up around actors. Her father, John Aniston, was a successful television actor. Her mother, Nancy Dow, was also an actress. From the outside, it seemed like Jennifer had been given a direct path into Hollywood. But behind the cameras was a complicated childhood. Her relationship with her mother was difficult, and those experiences would stay with her for years. Perhaps that's why Jennifer developed something that would later become essential to her survival: the ability to keep going, even when the people closest to you don't understand you, even when the people you love hurt you, even when you can't change the past. You learn to move forward, but Hollywood wasn't waiting to make things easy. Before Friends, Jennifer Aniston wasn't a global superstar. She was another struggling actress, another young woman attending auditions, another name competing against hundreds of others. There were disappointments, there were roles that didn't work, and there was always the possibility that the dream might never happen. Then came the audition that changed everything. Rachel Green, a spoiled young woman who walks into a coffee shop with no idea what she's going to do with her life. The character was funny, vulnerable, confused, and slowly becoming stronger. But something unexpected happened. The audience didn't just love Rachel. They fell in love with Jennifer Aniston. And almost overnight, her life changed. Friends became one of the biggest television shows in history. Jennifer Aniston became a household name. Rachel's hairstyle became a global phenomenon. Her clothes were copied. Her relationships became part of pop culture. And suddenly, Jennifer Aniston was no longer allowed to be ordinary. The world had found its new sweetheart. But there was a hidden danger in becoming America's sweetheart. The world begins to believe it owns a piece of you. And nowhere was that more obvious than in her personal life. Then came Brad Pitt. Their relationship became one of the most famous romances in Hollywood. They were young, successful, beautiful, and together. They looked like the perfect couple. When they married in 2000, millions of people watched their relationship like it was a fairy tale. But fairy tales don't have paparazzi. They don't have tabloids. They don't have millions of strangers analyzing every photograph. Real relationships do. And when the marriage ended in 2005, Jennifer Aniston suddenly found herself at the center of one of the biggest celebrity stories in modern Hollywood. The world didn't simply watch her heartbreak. It turned her heartbreak into entertainment. People picked sides. The media created narratives. Strangers debated her private life. And Jennifer had to experience one of the most painful moments of her life. While millions of people watched from the outside, but the divorce wasn't the end. It was only the beginning of a story that would follow her for years. Because after Brad Pitt, Jennifer Aniston became trapped inside a question. Was she ever going to find happiness again? Every new relationship became a headline. Every breakup became a prediction. And every year that passed brought another question. Why doesn't she have children? That question became one of the most invasive parts of her public life. For years, magazines and tabloids treated motherhood as though it were a missing piece of a puzzle, as if Jennifer Aniston couldn't possibly be complete without it. But here's what made the story so painful. Nobody knew what was happening behind closed doors. Nobody knew her private struggles. Nobody knew the personal decisions she had made. Yet the world kept demanding answers. Eventually, Jennifer spoke out, and her message was powerful. Her life did not need to look like everyone else's life to be meaningful. That should have ended the conversation. It didn't, because fame has a strange way of making people believe they know you. But Jennifer Aniston's life was changing, in ways the public couldn't see. Her career continued. She moved beyond Friends. She built a successful film career. She took on more serious roles. She became a producer, and eventually with The Morning Show, she showed audiences another side of herself. This wasn't Rachel Green. This was a woman carrying pressure, ambition, fear, power, vulnerability. Jennifer Aniston had spent years being told she was America's sweetheart. Now she was showing the world something else. She was an actress who had grown. But just as her career entered a new chapter, life brought another kind of pain. In 2016, her mother died. Their relationship had been complicated, and sometimes, complicated grief is the hardest kind. Because when someone dies, you don't only mourn what you had, you can also mourn what you never had, the conversations that never happened, the apologies that never came, the relationship you always wished could have been different. Jennifer had to carry that pain while continuing to live under the public eye. Then came another loss. In 2022, her father, John Aniston, died at the age of 89. The man who had been part of her life from the beginning was suddenly gone. And once again, Jennifer had to confront something fame could never protect her from: loss. No amount of money can stop death. No amount of success can bring someone back. And no celebrity status can make grief disappear. But perhaps the most important part of Jennifer Aniston's story is what happened next. She didn't disappear. She didn't allow the world to define her by the things she had lost. She continued working, she continued building, and slowly, something changed. For years, Jennifer Aniston had been trying to escape other people's expectations. Now, she seemed to be living on her own terms. And that may have been the greatest transformation of her life. She no longer needed to prove that she was happy. She no longer needed to explain why her life didn't look the way people expected. She no longer needed to convince strangers that she was complete, because maybe the truth was simpler. She had always been complete. The world just refused to believe it, and that's what makes Jennifer Aniston's story so much more powerful than the celebrity headlines suggest. Her greatest battle wasn't Hollywood. It wasn't fame. It wasn't even heartbreak. It was the pressure to become the woman everyone else wanted her to be. The perfect wife, the perfect mother, the perfect actress, the perfect celebrity, the woman who always smiles. But nobody can live like that forever. Eventually, you have to choose between the person the world expects you to be and the person you actually are. Jennifer Aniston chose herself, and perhaps that's why her story continues to resonate with so many people. Because underneath the Hollywood glamour is something deeply human. She knows what it's like to be misunderstood, to lose people, to have your pain discussed by strangers, to have your private life turned into public entertainment, and to wake up one day and realize that the only person who can decide whether your life is enough is you. Today, Jennifer Aniston is no longer simply Rachel Green. She is no longer just the woman from Friends, and she is certainly not the woman the tabloids tried to create. She is a survivor of fame, a woman who has experienced love and heartbreak, a daughter who lost both parents, an actress who transformed herself, and a person who spent years learning that happiness doesn't need to be explained. Maybe that's the part the world never understood. Jennifer Aniston never needed to find the life that everyone else imagined for her. She needed to find her own, and perhaps, after all these years, she finally did. The world thought Jennifer Aniston had everything. Then it spent decades searching for what it believed she was missing. But maybe the real tragedy was never that Jennifer Aniston didn't have everything. Maybe the tragedy was that the world was so busy looking for what she didn't have, that it failed to see everything she had already survived. And perhaps that's why millions still admire her. Not because she is famous, not because she is beautiful, not because she played one of television's most beloved characters, but because behind the famous smile is a woman who learned one of life's hardest lessons. Your life does not become complete when the world finally approves of it. It becomes complete when you stop asking the world for permission to live it. And maybe that's the real story of Jennifer Aniston. The woman everyone thought they knew was the woman they never truly saw.